Today's scripture passage comes from Matthew's Gospel, the 8th chapter. And it's a familiar story that we have all heard. It's the story where Christ is with his apostles and they decide to go over the Sea of Galilee, the Lake Gennesaret, same body of water. They're going from the Jewish side where everything is familiar over to the Gentile side where everything is unfamiliar and they're not known. And on the way over the water, a storm arises. And this storm is starting to batter and beat the boat and such that the disciples are profoundly afraid and don't know what to do. Now, keep in mind that these disciples were professional fishermen. They knew that lake. They understood the goings and the comings, the waves, the storms. They knew all of that. And yet they were afraid. But it's a remarkable thing that they go in the bow of the ship to get Jesus, who was a carpenter. And somehow they expected him to be able to help them because they were so afraid. So they wake up Jesus, who's in the bow of the boat. And after they waken him, they say, well, we're about to perish. Do something. And Jesus looks at them, says, "Oh, you with little faith." And at that moment, he begins to calm the seas. He calms the wind. And the apostles then say to themselves, "Who is this that the very winds and the sea obey him?" Who is he indeed? One of my thoughts when listening and reading this particular passage is often Christ does quell the storm. Not only the storm that is on the outside, but most importantly, he quells and calms the storms that are within us. Because see, this is more than a story about battered seas that affect us on our outward selves. It is also about those battered seas and anxieties that we hold within. That same God who was able to calm the seas on the external are able to calm the storms that are within. The storm of anger, storm of pain, storms of disappointment and fear. These are the storms by which we come to Christ, so that in the midst of our storm, we have found a place and someone who will give us rest. And here's the most important part. Christ is in the boat with you. You know, when you're in that boat of fear, that boat of disappointment, that boat of anger, that boat of illness, that boat of sickness, all of those boats, Christ is in the boat with you. And when we come to him with this undying pain, this fear, he is there. All we must do is to ask God, please calm the storm that is disrupting my life. Come and heal my anxiety, my pain. Now, I know that it doesn't always feel that Christ goes ding. Sometimes in time, through our faith, our anxiety heals. You know, you may have noticed that I am not in my backyard. No, I've been blessed to come to an event, the UCC, the CCU, the Council of Catholic Women, CCW, and they invited me here in Savannah, and we had this beautiful basilica, the Basilica of St. John, which is their cathedral. And I want to thank the Bishop Parks, Monsignor Schreck, and Deacon Smith, who welcomed me. And also I had the opportunity to go to the Church of the Resurrection, and it was Father Cheney, and also the Deacon Bennett, and he's become a good friend. But most importantly, I want to thank two special people, Allison and Tom White, who have been so hospitable, and Teresa, and one special guy, Tom Bullock, who welcomed me. And as we say, after all of our contemplation and our storms have been calmed, that's when we can ask, Lord, What are we going to do today